What's on, mini fans? We're back with another 1 hour challenge, trying to clear some of the hobby supplies. So this time I'm using some packaging material. If you like anything in a video, feel free to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with my content. Down in the description box I have some affiliate links. So I have a couple of hobby stores for UK and EU and one for the US, and they give a discount on all your hobby stuff. Then I have Amazon affiliate links for my most used items. Anyway, enough of this, let's get on to crafting. These are the materials used in this build, although I don't actually use everything on screen here. I do try to, but you'll see later. The main body is, I can't remember what it was for. Maybe it was part of a toothbrush, I'm not sure, but it's a bit of plastic packaging. Really nice shape. And then cable ties, that hair curler thing, bit of that kid's pipe, card, chipboard, granny grating. Then I've got various cables, but I don't in the end use those. Clock is ticking. Let's get crafting. Now, I am going to say straight away, some mistakes are made in this video, and you shall see. But I'm not doing an audio track, properly synced up. So I'm just going to explain what went wrong right now. First one, I figured normally when I do these 1 hour builds, I get super glue covering my hands or fingers, especially fingertips. And my door lock at my house is a fingerprint one. So if I get too much super glue on them, boom, can't open the door. Or I have to use the code. But anyway, that's beside the point. I figured I'll put on some disposable gloves. And of course then, those get glued onto my piece of terrain. But that's fine. I got to cover that up, no worries. Next one, I ran out of super glue. So I had to shift over to using hot glue. But unfortunately it meant I couldn't add rivets. And as one of my comments on my last 1 hour project said, rivets make a piece and take extra time to do those, which is what I was intending to do. But yeah, no rivets on this, but hey ho. I think it all turns out fine anyway. And there was one other kind of major issue, but time constraints, it didn't, I probably couldn't have done it anyway. I was planning on using a pin vise, drilling some holes into the plastic, and then putting some cables down. But I couldn't get in, at least in the time. I mean, if I spent a bit more time doing it, sure I can. But yeah, that's that. You'll also notice I do use Mod Podge on the chipboard. And I wouldn't do this in a colder place, but where I'm living it is really hot and it dries so quickly. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, I think that's it for me for now. I shall talk to you later on in the video when we get to the end. So enjoy my haphazard crafting. Cheers. And as I said, I did have to take an extra 5 minutes, which does seem to be a bit standard now, just to do a bit of weathering. And that's the end of a project. So, mistakes were made, as I said, as you saw, if you've got this far. But overall, pretty pleased with this, honestly. And I like these 1 hour challenges, just for the simple fact that I don't have much time. And I know a lot of other people don't have much time, especially to dedicate to something like crafting, when they've got miniature painting, etc. So if you can bang out a decent looking terrain piece in an hour, you know, you could probably do a few things like this in an evening. After a week, you've pretty much got a whole board set up. If you had, you know, a few days to do it. Yeah, I think it's cool. We will continue with these. Plus, it's getting rid of parts of my huge stock of supplies. But anyway, here's some photos of the finished piece. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers for now.